Good morning and welcome, everyone. I may be alone for a little bit, but I was going to seam rip and I didn't want to get focused on this and forget to start the live. This fabric right here was torn from my seam ripping earlier, so I need to take it out and replace it. It's just a little bitty tear, but it's torn. I don't know what we're all doing today or did this weekend. Anybody make anything this weekend? I had a very blah weekend. I haven't even gotten over to talk to Dee Dee yet. Dee Dee is at my big tidy up. She added some fresh pops of color with some lemon and yellow at her house. And I was like, that is so cute. I need that. I don't like yellow. I like it everywhere, but in my house. I repainted because I don't like yellow. I am just going to take this piece out, try to, without wrecking it, and replace it. Should have done this before, but that's okay. Everybody likes to see a good seam ripper, meaning it goes well. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Sylvia. She says, howdy, partner. I wonder what that sounds like in a British voice. I bet somebody's done it. I bet lots of people have done it. Good morning, Dee Dee. Aw, Dee Dee says, yes, I missed you. Yes, and I kept intending to, and you got me looking on YouTube for summer quilting table runners, summer this, summer that, and then I was just down that rabbit hole on my TV. Didn't even have it to where I could comment. And then yesterday I was trying to design my own too, and that just wasn't going well. Well, what in the world? There is something off with my lighting today. I cannot see to save my life. But oh goodness, things are scrolling in my chat. Good morning, Melissa. Practically Creative is here. Now the party may begin. We've got Dee Dee, Sylvia, Melissa, all the lurkers. And we appreciate our lurkers. And Deborah, good morning, Deborah. Good afternoon, Sylvia. I keep saying good morning. I seam rip a lot too, so clearly I do lots of things wrong. Put a piece of my paper. So this was going to be last week's block when my internet decided that I wasn't going to have any. They never did tell us what happened to it. I suspect it was malicious, only because they would have said, we've got a line down, we've got this, we've got that, had it not been. Take this one out a little bit so I can do it without ripping that fabric. Nope, I think I went right through it. I go between the fabrics. I don't do it the way most people do it, and then I just run, and that's why I rip my fabric. That little red thing's supposed to prevent you from ripping your fabric. Well, you can't prevent me from ripping the fabric the way I do it. So I'm just going to take that triangle out. Good morning, Giovanna. I saw some of your videos. Y'all get too much rain. Joe, I'm sorry. That last corner never wants to come out properly. Try not to rip my other fabric, because I don't want to replace them both, although that might be the easier thing to do here. All right, I got it out. And after I get this fixed, I'm just going to put this giant piece in here. That's what I'm going to do. Put that giant piece across there. Need a little more room over here. Throw that back. I'm going to iron that down real quick. Oh, yes, the kitties. What was I doing? I saw kitties and just there went everything. So I'm just putting this seam group back. I'm just going to put this one right sides together, I hope. If it's not, I have left things like that before, and then we'll get going. I still got a minute. Well, maybe not. That clock is notoriously wrong on our wall. But Dee Dee's refresh made me want summer stuff. I need to stop getting the once. I go from season to season to season, and it's probably need to unpick that white one a little bit. There we go. Didn't have the full piece of fabric exposed so I could fix it. Don't know why I thought this would be a good idea live, but I did. Just expose that whole edge that I needed to add to a 1/4 inch. This is where we get creative. Aw, she says the kitty's a sweetheart. Okay. So my squares were 1 7/8 unfinished. I was organized. You could take my word for it because I just don't organize me. So I need to square this on the 1. Here, want to see what I'm doing before we start? We've not actually started yet. These are great thread catchers. These pants, they love threads. Okay, there we go. I've got that exposed so I can get my 1 7/8 minus 1/4 is 7 6 5/8. 1 5/8 on that side. I have to find the direction my mind accepts that'll work because it's going not that way. Should not have done this right now. Okay. 7 6 5. Yes, she did. I looked up and I saw Deborah say, Sylvia, you sounded so tired that last short. 7 6 5. I think that's right. Maybe fix it again. And I changed the little holder here because it wasn't working on my add anything quarter rulers. I had the wrong dealie on it. Mayhem fixed it. That is Angel's son. Of course, that's not his real name. Now I'm going to sew this seam back. Still got this one loose, so I'm going to sew all the way across. Didn't know we were going to get to fix something. Would have put it on the title. How do you fix that? That really should be the title. I can abide a lot of mistakes. Ripped fabric in it is not one of them. Now that I just sewed that down, I can fold this over and sew straight across. I'll start before I start picking stitches and after. Plug my thread down. I knew it had to be me because the ruler thing. I knew I was have to be doing something wrong because it didn't make sense. And voila! Oh, it's almost fixed. I missed a side. Man, never fails. Yeah, it's a corner, so we're gonna fight. There we go. Okay, make sure I didn't have any holes. Now we got it. Alrighty. Oh, just threw some of my papers in the trash that I was actually using. Hang on. We need that. All right. Now I can start talking. That ripped piece of fabric was just gonna, it was gonna come apart. Alrighty. Good morning. Lots of talking going on. I'm sorry. Joe says the thing is he does the weird things when I don't have my phone with me, her cat. Oh, and Deborah's finished 2 sections of the Minions. Nice. And again, good morning. I had something popping up on me. That should not be there. Pardon me while I get a drink of my coffee. And close my phone. Nosy people. Yay, got coffee, Deborah. We are caffeinated and ready to go. Okay, so hi, I'm Coleen. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the visit. We visit a whole lot here. We also sew. But you know, we're all about the visiting. I got to see what's going on in the chat. Right now I am pulling cards out of the Quilt Builder Card Deck. I always add an S to it. I don't know why I add S's to things. Quilt Builder Card Deck. There's a link below to Amazon. I am not an affiliate. I am not sponsored by anyone for anything. So anything you see down there, I get nothing for. Just I'm using them. Might as well tell you. This is a deck of 40 cards, 40 new blocks, 8 new layouts, unlimited possibilities. Did I sell it? Made by C&T Publishing. And I got mine at Halo, but she doesn't have anymore, so the link is to Amazon. First thing I'm going to do is draw a card for next week so I don't forget at the end of the live, because it has happened. Learned a lesson. And these should be facing you the way it doesn't give you their directions. Oh, that's pretty and intimidating. It's pretty and intimidating. The why I say it's intimidating is it's not. I can see that being done fairly easy. And this is called Merry Kite. That's a pretty one. I like it. I don't think I've ever, if I've seen it, I never heard the name. You see, Joe said hi. And oh, Sylvia's had her COPD she was fighting with when she filmed. And Deborah says thrift books usually have them too. That's right. You can always thrift books with the prices of everything going up lately. You know, cheap is good, free is better. Sylvia says pretty block, but this will be next week's block, and I'm doing it in our patriotic colors to go in the quilt I'm calling Show Me City Lights, because I'm here in Missouri. And the diamond blocks, I don't know what they're called. They're 4 patches. Yeah, there's 4 patches. That pattern came from Fabric Cafe. It is pinned at the top of the comments. It is also below in the description box. That way you can check it out. It is a paid pattern. All the blocks in between that I'm doing myself, whoops, I am providing free templates, FPP, fabric cuts, and then you can watch the video to figure out how to put it together or look at the picture if you can do that. That's what my mind works. It likes pictures. So I'm not a big reader unless it's a picture book. Joe says she'll be lurking while dressing. Thank you, Joe. Love our lurkers. So I want to keep that out. But as I was saying, sorry, I interrupt myself all the time. The City Lights pattern is what these blocks came from. And it is a paid pattern. You can get it as a standalone pattern. I'm calling it a standalone pattern. I don't know what to call it. It's by itself with no upsizing on the pattern. Or you can get it in their book. I've got links to both. Both are paid. But the blocks I do, I provide for free how to do them. Let's put this up. Do the haul before we get into this week's block. Because I can't. Don't forget to give them. Oh, Sylvia says, don't forget to give thumbs up, please. It does help. It really does. And I've found, I don't know. I took a long time off between my parents having to take care of them and computer problems. And since I come back, I can't even get 2,000 views. I saw something out my window. I'm trying to convince my husband there's mountain lions out there. There's mountain lions out there. He just hasn't seen them. Maybe not like right out my window, but you know. Having trouble even getting to 2,000. You need 4,000 watch hours to get monetized. I can't even get to 2,000. So, you know, it is YouTube. So, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. Was that too needy and, you know, pandering, I guess? I don't know. I was going to show you a couple things I'm working on before the haul. I forgot. This weekend, what I did do and what took a lot of time, I don't know how I'm going to put them together yet, but I made these. They're FPP for my son's dragons quilt. And there's at least one more colorway. I love that. These are 3 by 14 inches because the blocks are 14 inches long. I may have to, I was just going to put them at the bottom at the top, but I may put them all the way around the panels because I love how those look. And I picked out colors that were in the panels. Panels are buried. I'm not digging for them. So that's what I did this weekend. My husband really would like me to get this done. Tuber chat. I don't know if that's what I think it is. It's either, I need to look that up, but there are some things out there that are very much like, YouTube already has a pay to play thing. If you play online games, you may understand what I'm saying. Pay to play means you pay for the better stuff. You get to do some stuff for free or with your subscription, but then you pay for the better stuff. YouTube already has a promote your channel thing that they'll do if you pay for it. And I think Tuber Chat has something that's like that. Plus, the sub for a sub thing is against the YouTube terms of service. So a lot of people are doing the sub for a sub thing, and you're not supposed to. Plus, it doesn't get you monetized because it doesn't get you views. What gets you watch hours, they may get you subscribers, which is great. I already have the number of subscribers needed, which is 1,000. I already have that, but I need the 4,000 watch times. And watch time, views doesn't necessarily convert to watch time. Did that make sense? I'm trying to make sense. Oh, okay. I was trying to remember if that's the one we were talking about the other day, Melissa. Melissa was saying Tuber Chat is doing a lot of TOS violations, I think. And it's always a great thought, though. Thank you for suggesting it. I do appreciate it. I was just thinking that was one that I'd recently looked at. And yeah, you can also, there's lots of channels that violate the terms of service, which is TOS. Dee Dee says, when I started, I read somewhere that it said subscribers are for your ego, views are for your pocketbook. That would be true, I think, because you only need 1,000 subscribers, like I said, which I have. It's the views, the watch time is what's, I think that they monetize that because that's what's keeping people on the site on YouTube. But I don't do pay to play. And I think they have a thing where you can pay and they'll give you a shout or something like that. I don't know if that's super chat though. Don't quote me on that. There are some that do that, but the thing is you need people in your genre or it's not going to do you any good. And that's for everybody. Joe, that wasn't specific for you. That wasn't, I wasn't trying to, so everybody knows. I love you, Joe. Subs don't equal watch time. It's great to have that magic 1K number, but it helps more to have people who actually watch your stuff. And Melissa said that's a good analogy, Dee Dee. And Dee Dee says, you're right. You can have lots of subscribers, but that sure doesn't mean that they watch and show up every week. True. Oh, Giovanna says, no, they don't ask for money. Okay. It may be another one then. That's why I was saying I'm not 100%, but there are ones, and there's lots of live YouTubes that try to get people, and this is how they're getting their channel monetized. Think about that. That's crazy. We can help you build your channel. Come watch this live and we'll show you how. And they get you in chat doing the sub for sub thing. And you've got, I can't think of any. What's something that's just completely out of remodeling, I guess. You got remodeling channels, subbing to sewing channels. Neither one have anything that's going together. Of course I do. But if that makes sense. Giovanna says, love you too. Thank you. I didn't want you to think for a second, I've been told that I insult people when I talk. So I try very hard not to. Only one person has ever told me that. So anyway, I did a bunch of those for my son's quilt. I did 3. They are time consuming. And I was working on this, and something about this is just not setting. It's not done. When I start building something, hi, I'm a Christian. My name is Coleen. I'm not trying to press my religion on you, and I'm not trying to convert you. I'm just showing you what I did. So it's okay. But there's just too much color in it, I think, for me. I need something more subtle. I think if I would have taken my cross and just put some white around it, or off-white even, maybe. And I thought about ending it, let's see, at where I have my hands are looking backwards to me, or where right here, I thought about ending it there at the star. I love making these, by the way. Oh, Giovanna, do you watch Mona? I used to. I haven't for a while. And she says, or Joe, sorry. Joe says that is beautiful. Thank you. But there's something about it bugging me, so I haven't finished it. But I made all the letters. This is all my own design. The letters were too big. I tried to fix them in the FPP. I tried to fix that by shrinking them. I hope I did it enough, because who knows? Maybe I want to make this again for somebody else. Or if you guys want the pattern, I could give it to you knowing that this is a prototype. So I worked on that. Thank you so much. Okay, now the haul. Now the fun part. Everybody wants to see. I went to Actually, what I did is I got online and I did some shopping. And then I had to go into town for a doctor's appointment, just a regular checkup. There's nothing wrong with me. It's all right, people. And so I went to my local quilt shop, who have the best sales. They have sales, and I'll show you theirs first. Some of this is, I realize that I'm saying this name wrong. Benartex. I have been saying it wrong for years. Benartex. It feels and looks kind of like a batik. I didn't know they did batiks though. I think this one is too. Let me see what this one is. And I looked online and all I saw was some on eBay. So yeah, this one is too. But these at my local shop, a whole yard was $5.99 or $4.99 for a yard at my local shop. Every one of these. And what I wanted to do, and you can't tell from this, I'm going fall. That was not my intent when I went in that store, but that's what was in the sale. And then the bright colors I couldn't decide on. I couldn't decide on, and my back gave out before I got any more done. So at my local shop, very reasonable prices. I just have to get out there and get there. You know, I've got back problems, spine problems, and hip problems, so that limits my ability to go out. I mean, I love going into a quilt shop and looking around. The problem is, it takes me a long time to make up my mind. So I got all of those for like $35. Oh, forgot. I got this one for $8.99. It's a white on white. Anytime I go in there, I will get a white on white or a like a tone on tone beige or something. Anytime I go in there, I'll find it the cheapest one they have. This one was $8.99. If you don't like to hear prices, sorry. The yellow and pink shouts spring. Spring, Joe says. Melissa was saying, I don't know why, but somehow that oddly works together. And I was like, well, it wasn't supposed to. But now we've got two. I think you're right. But my intent when I went in there was, and if you're a newer quilter, you may be feeling this. You know, I start out buying charm packs, mostly charm packs. I bought a few, a couple jelly rolls and a couple 10-inch square packs when they were on sale. But I don't really have any real blendable colors. And I wouldn't call this one a blender. I don't know what a blender is. In a rainbow. So I got the color wheel. I found a color wheel online and I just saved it to my desktop. And I decided this year I'm going to build my stash, not just get what I'm going to use and have plans for, because I don't buy colors normally like yellow. That's why yellow, orange, I don't normally buy a lot of those colors. I want blues and red and teal, you know, those colors. So I thought I'm going to go buy the color wheel because I'm terrible at colors and build my stash. Yellow shouts. Sylvie says, oh, Giovanna said, put a green together. Ooh, that would be pretty. I had a green over here. Maybe not. I can see that. I can see that. You guys are genius. But Sylvia says, yellow shouts spring. I'd say it looks more purple, which I love, and they are next to each other on color wheel, so it works. Yes. And yeah, it's between pink and purple. I don't know what color you guys really see, but it is between that. So fuchsia? No, it's not a fuchsia. I'm terrible at colors. I know. Why are you quilting? So anyway, I got the color wheel out and I was doing that, but that's the haul from my local store, which I am extremely happy with. And then I went over to my friend Halo's. I say my friend, well, she is my friend. We've been on YouTube a few years. I've done some shopping over there. I don't get anything for it besides the privilege of having some nice fabric at a decent price. Keisha, you can flowers. Oh, I'm just gonna sit here and read what Joe says. I was thinking this morning when I was watching people for ideas, I was like, man, they have got incredible imaginations. I guess mine needs to get there. It doesn't go wild like that on things like applique. I see people do applique and I'm just engrossed in how, is that the right word? You know what I mean? How pretty and imaginative it is. Anyway, and do these have the colors on them? Because I can tell you the brand. These are from Halo. There's a link below, and let's see, fabric, exclamation, whoops. Okay, let's try to get in that chat box without getting off the live. Let's see, fabric. We'll show you this fabric. And if you're in Missouri and you're interested in going to my local quilt shop, which I live in the middle of nowhere, so anywhere I go, I have to drive a ways. This is the one I choose. It's not like I live around the corner. So you can find them watercolor swirls from Riley Blake. And these were, I can't remember how much they were now, but I got half yard cuts to build my color wheel. And like I said, I don't buy oranges or yellows, so I made a point to get those. Let's see, what colors did I get? I got pumpkin, warm sepia, yellow. Let's put those together. And I'm going to put them in a couple drawers so I don't touch them until I get some colors built up so I can do like rainbow things and things like that. Where was I? Yellow, dark red, purple. Oh, there's a green. Marmalade and dark green. This one is the warm sepia. She has a couple of, look at those swirls. She has a couple of, I don't know, what you call this, like a blender basic. Pastry Queen, I have heard of her. Is she the one, does she do the 3-yard quilts? I lurk on 3-yard quilts. Jeff says, fantastic colors. Lena, the Pastry Queen, she does a lot of different patterns and quilts. Cool. Oh, and there's a green. That's pretty. Let's see, now that I have all of these, I can do something. I was lacking. I get fabrics with like Christmas motif on them. You know, things, Halloween, and I needed some basics. So these will go in my basics. And she has more than I am going to order over at Halo's. I've already got my cart ready. Cart is ready to go. But what did I say? These are Painter's Watercolor Swirl by Riley Blake Designs. And I tell you guys all the time, I don't, if you're new or lurking, you may not have heard me say this before. If a large shop, you know, like a really large shop, but I'm talking like Missouri Star, Fat Quarter Shop. I love those shops. Shop them, share their sales on my community tab. So, but if a small business like Halo or my local shop has the same price as a large business like them, I'll shop the small business. We need to keep the small businesses, the small quilting companies going. And they are very comparable. So these make me happy. Anybody else feeling a rainbow? But anyway, I need to build a rainbow. And some of these are going to work for my, next year I'm making a Kansas City Chiefs double wedding ring quilt. Pieced, because I'm delusional. So those are the pretties from Halo. And then on Amazon, I got the basics because I was on Amazon. I'd remembered after I ordered from Halo because Halo actually has needles. I got some, let's see, these are Microtex Sharp needles. 9014 is what I use. And when I was watching people this weekend on YouTube, they were all over the place on needles. Needle sizes, 9014 works. That's what I'm using. And Microtex and quilter needles, they seem, I know they're different. One is sharper, I guess, but they They look the same to me. And bobbins, because I bought metal bobbins, and here's a public service announcement. Do not switch between metal bobbins and plastic bobbins in your machine. It can throw the timing off and do all kinds of wonky things to it. I did not know that when I bought the metal bobbins, because I had bought some generic plastic bobbins that broke when I was winding them, which was a mess. So I switched to metal, and then I found that out. So get the ones made for your machine so you don't have them breaking on you. So I got those at Amazon. There's links below, not affiliate, not sponsored. Talk a lot. And then, okay, my friend Halo, I will go where there's good customer service too, just so you know. My friend Halo has threads, and I think they've got a sale right now on their finesse thread, which is a polyester thread, and she sells Aurifil and Bottom Line. I know they don't have them all on their site yet, I don't think. So if they don't have the color you like, you might contact them and ask them. Anyway, they did not have the ones I wanted in polyester, because I wanted some variegated threads, and I don't know how to open this now where it's not going to fall out. I wanted some variegated threads, and I use, these are called row thread for my embroidery, and it has worked great. I haven't had any problem with it. It is cheaper, but the ones that Halo has, it's actually about the same price. So like I said, that's where I would have bought it had she had it. But these, I'm going to sit them down. I'm going to tilt you. We're high tech around here. Oh, I do that. Jeff says I use the plastic bobbins for a top thread when I need to. And if I don't have a lot left in it, I'll try to run a color out or something. I do that too. I use only metal bobbins for my machine, Jeff says. Deborah says my oldies only take metal bobbins. Melissa says not the right green for that combo, but I can see it better that way. I'm very visual. I have to have something that I can get close. And you still can't see what I'm doing. My camera looks crooked. I apologize. Have I been crooked? A little sideways. Okay, there we go. Sylvia says, fantastic colors. There's lots of talking that I missed. I'm sorry. Sylvia says, when I did art years ago, colors next to or opposite on the color wheel go together. That's what I heard. Now, I'm trying to remember. We got a free Prime subscription on Amazon, and I think these were on sale on Prime. They may not have been a Prime sale, just their spring sale, but they were on sale when I bought them the other day. I don't know when their Prime sale ends. I think that's today sometimes. They threw a couple of bobbins in here, which I'm going to have to look at and size and really determine whether or not they are. Because even though they look like the ones that go in my sheet, you know what? I'm not even going to. Okay, I need to put these in a donate pile. I'll take those and donate them to the sale place up there, because I don't like when they break. But they gave us sleeves. Let's see, do I have one in here? I bought sleeves, so that was nice. But we're getting some of those sleeves. And these are all variegated. It has some information. Your sewing partner since 1991. Oh, these are Smith thread. I thought they were both threads. Smith threads. I lied. Sim. Okay. Sim thread. Don't know anything about it. Haven't tried it. I was thinking it was the other ones. But they're, it's hard to see. Let's see if we can get closer. They are variegated. And I have a plan for that one's a good one. In all kinds of colors. I am going to try them. I'm going to get that one to show. I'm going to try them on this quilt over here in the blank space. my infinity chain quilt, I want to use, wow, that's been on a while. Sorry. I want to use my grandmother's templates the templates that I made for my grandmother's sunbonnet Sue embroidery cutout pieces. I want to draw those on them and then use the variegated threads to stitch around them, each one in a different color. Oh, Melissa, okay. I was thinking I told Melissa the wrong kind of thread. I was thinking it was called Smith. It's Sim thread. Don't ask what's wrong with me. Nobody knows. I have. Giovanna asked if I've tried to get color swatches from a paint shop that you can use to see what colors go with each other. I have gotten some color swatches, but that was, what's the word I'm looking for? They were physical, and I wasn't keeping track of them. I kept losing them. That's the word I was looking for. So it wasn't like a big swatch sheet, which I bet they have. Why I didn't. That is a good idea. Melissa says I have and use Sim thread variegated. Haven't had any issues with it. So, and that was my wow. I don't even know the word. Melissa, what's the word? Advisor. Undetermined. These were, I think I wound up paying like $15, something like that, on sale for all of those. And oh, does it say how many are in the spool? It doesn't say how many are in the spool. It's quite a bit though. If you've ever gotten a regular spool of Missouri Star, it's that size. Anyway, lots of variegated threads to try and play with. There's a color swatch set available on Amazon and other places. Joe says, oh, that is cheap. Yeah. That's why I was like, wow, I'd normally pay that for one, and on sale, maybe 2 spools. So I was like, how much am I wasting if it doesn't work out for me? And then Melissa said that she's tried it and likes it. So I was like, fingers crossed. Had good luck with it, with buying from brands from Amazon before. But if you have a brand your machine likes, I would say that's the brand you should use. This thing hates cotton. It hates using cotton. Guess what brand it likes? Aurifil. That was so frustrating. I tried every cotton. Actually, it did pretty good with the, I think it's Superior threads that I tried on it too. Connecting threads. Cotton. It does okay on that too. I rarely use cotton. Rarely. But it was giving me fits with the connecting thread, but it already gave me fits with everything else I was trying. So then I just said, okay, I'm done. Let's try the Aurifil. And it worked. Melissa says, right now I have Sim thread in both the regular machine and my embroidery machine. When Wayne took my old embroidery machine, we ordered him a set of 30 for his use. I don't want him rummaging in my thread stash. And Deborah says, my baby lock is my picky one. And Joe says, my Bernina takes any thread, even old. Well, now, you know, we don't invite the quilt police to our visits and our sewing. Quilt police is not invited, and there's a good reason for that. We are rebels. What I'm using right now, this is serger thread that was gifted to me, and I have a ton of it in lots of colors. It is poly. I'm not having any trouble with it. It's holding really good. And I use small stitches. And besides that, something I learned recently, the thinner the thread, the better your fabrics will lay. All of you are probably going, duh. But the thinner the thread you use to piece with, the flatter your fabrics will lay with it. And I'm actually wanting to use a 80 or 100 weight in the top and probably that bottom line 60 weight in the bottom to see if I can use that combination, see if it lays any better. But I've got way too much of this serger thread to go through first. They really do. Melissa says, the quilt police take the joy out of sewing. I was watching a channel this weekend and I was like, oh, I found them. I found where the quilt police live. It's not a nice thing to say. But you know what? I had it in a cup back there, and this was like $10 on Amazon. I think it was less than $10 on Amazon. It's extremely cheaply made. This thing occasionally will pop off, but you see I don't have it sitting correctly. It's sideways, offset, not in back, sitting straight up. And I could glue it if I wanted to. I could glue this thing on right there. But I like it. I refused to get one for a very long time because the cup worked just fine. And then I thought, well, if it's going to give me less hassle, it's worth the $10. Which was last year. I think I got it after I got some money from that I did with my in-laws. Good morning. I see Miss Laura Lynn, Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and Kent, who may or may not be there. And Giovanna says, I don't give a hoot, or Joe says, I don't give a hoot for what they think. I use serger thread as well. I have a ton of thread that is up to 35 years old. If it sews, it goes. Luckily, I saw Missouri star Jenny say that early on. And I was like, okay, we'll go with that. How are you this morning, Laura Lynn? They will be, you are on today. She says, hey, all you cool kids. Well, we're cool now because Laura Lynn's here. I'm here, but working on long arm. It is hard to be in chat when you're working and keeping up a channel. So all my channel people over here, first of all, please visit them, give them a thumbs up, give them a like, say, hey, how you doing? Links are all underneath the video, and thank you, Sylvia. I was just thinking, have we put any links in yet? I will. Also, in the chat. I use my serger as a thread holder. I have a serger with the thread holder. It's in timeout for the needles breaking on me. But cactus, scrappy cactus. I can't remember the name of it. Is what they're doing over on Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. They are on Saturdays. They are going to be gone 2 Saturdays in April. I did not write that down. Shame on me. I know I'm bad. It keeps me looking. Plus, they have cross stitch today. And I can't remember what that is, but I know when I watched the replay, every time I looked up, it said quiet. And I thought, is this a sign? Yeah, it was an old one. Anyway, Scrappy Cactus is adorable. Oh, thank you, thank you. Joe has to go. Thank you for joining us and coming and chatting with us, Joe. You have a good day. Good evening. Okay. Dipper says, I have threads from my mother-in-law. We're on the links, so no problem. Thank you, Sylvia. I have the best mods who have channels and who I believe you should visit and check out. 12th and the 16th. See, Melissa knew. I was going to write that down. Melissa knows. 12th and 16th, Mom and Pop won't be on. But you can get their replays on those days. And they put up pre-made content. I was trying to think about what those are called. Twice a week, long arming, and then when they can, a short tutorial. Easy weekend project, which is awesome. Words are hard and I need coffee. Pardon me. And of course. So, and Sylvia's knitting. See, there's things to talk about. Sylvia's knitting. 26th. What did I say? 12th and 26th. They will. Okay. Just as I'll watch videos at night while sleeping so you can get watch hours. See, technically, I should tell you that that's against terms of service because it's not allowed by them, but you know, they don't control your account. Neither do I. Deborah, oh, the serger scary. I'm afraid of the serger. My daughter tried to teach me hers, but didn't work out. Oh, what? The third time I touched my serger, both needles just broke on me, and I was like, oh no. Nope, not playing with it. I don't need that headache. But it's not. Once you get used to it and you realize it's not going to cut your fingers off any more than this is going to impale your finger, which I have done already. So, 16th, LOL. I was coming to correct, but Miss PC got it. Okay, thank you, Laurelyn. 16th. It's the 26th. Melissa is on it. She keeps me up too. You know, if you like replays, lives, seriously, and I'm not even trying to promote mine. I had Laura Lynn's on last week while I was working over here, and I was cutting over there so I could watch, and then I'd pause, I'd come over here and sew, and I'd go back and I'd pause it so I could watch some more. It is nice to have company, especially with people who are doing things like you're doing. For me, because, you know, two guys in this house, they're not much when it comes to sewing company. So, I'm plotting for the days you're not on, Laura Lynn. Melissa is bad. That's why she's a moderator. I'm less likely to kick her out. She knows I'm teasing. Okay. I'm going to explain this blog real quick, but I think the pictorial thingy of it, and I put up 2 shorts. This is supposed to be a solid block. So I did put this up as free for it, but that is supposed to be a solid block in this. And you just want your solid blocks and all your blue pointing in. These little points right here go into the center, no matter where it is. A lot of HSTs. First of all, I wouldn't do them 32 at a time, mostly because that is a whole lot of bias. And it's probably a whole lot of bias a lot of ways. I was learning about bias this weekend, so you're going to get to hear what I learned. Sylvia says, I agree. It's nice to have the background sound on what you're on whilst working. It is. Mine are not good for sewing input either, Deborah says. Melissa's rolling on the floor laughing. I know, right? Oh. So, and this, I think I left this in it. So, you know, you can color it. You can print it out and color it, I'm pretty sure. But I've got the sizes that go here and the sizes that go right here. I like these FPP because it's just, see, I took that out so I could show you and then I forgot. Two fabrics. You've got 2 fabrics. So whatever your fabric one is, I would say white just because I do. You know, and then your fabric 2. And even using a piece of paper cut out like this, it helps stabilize. So if you do have any cuts on the bias, and I am using scraps, So it's a pretty good chance and bias is stretchy. Bias is stretchy. This does not have any stretch to it here. This is stretchy, which you can probably see. When I pulled it out of there, I was stretching it, which you can fix that by spraying it with some water or some other stuff called starch. I've been using Stay Flow because I haven't ran out yet. They're not selling anymore. There's another brand underneath in the links if you want it. And I don't like it as stiff as most people do, so I water mine down quite a bit. You spray it with something, water, it'll help get those fabrics shrink back together, and then hit it with your iron. Now, if you haven't done that beforehand, it will probably shrink on you and you may not be able to use it again. But just ironing it helps, but hitting it with the moisture, I think, is what really helps it more, if that makes sense. Rolling on floor laughing. Coleen said that me having a wrench keeps her from kicking me out. I should get more people wrenches. Dee Dee, she's always on the she's always on the she couldn't make it this week. Oh, if you haven't met Dee Dee is at My Big Tidy Up, and she does organizing, decorating, decluttering, cleaning. She does it all, and she is relatable. She has a beautiful home. And she doesn't try to shame you. She doesn't try to guilt you. She doesn't try to make you feel like you're incompetent for not doing everything just like her. In fact, her last video, or was the one before that? The one before her last video, I think she did a fantabulous talk about doing what you're able to do. Oh, there she is. She says, "Oh, friend, I know you're busy. I'll take you whenever I can get you." But laughing. Okay. Back to why we're supposed to be here. When I see blocks, I'm always thinking, how can I make that harder on myself? Therefore, I put square and squares over here. That's all I can come up with is why would I do something like that? Something that was actually relatively easy. But when you're working with bias, if you put a piece of paper under it, it helps stabilize it. And these, I put a couple on of these. This is FPP. I put this up, so if you don't know how to do FPP with a little video, it is super easy, super fast, and it doesn't have to be as wasteful as some people make it look. I have very little waste the way I do it. I use templates. I cut the sizes I need. I don't just go chopping chunks out of my fabric unless I'm very frustrated. I have done that. Fabric is too expensive for me to waste it like that. Maybe I'm just cheap. But so if you haven't tried FPP, try this little, and you can use your scraps. All of mine are scraps. These are scraps, except for these blocks right here. Everything over here is just scrap pieces I've had. I figure out if the size will fit, and that's what I use. And if you have leftover half square triangles of a color and you're wanting to do this block in that colorway, you can actually even use some of them if you didn't want to make them all, but you still want to do the FPP. I know this sounds crazy. I do weird things. I took, let's see, where's number one? Number one's in the middle, so I'm ignoring it. Number one's usually in the middle. But I took, give it. Let's see. One is dark, two is light. So I took my glue. And my dark goes right here where number one is. Right there, and get a 1/4 inch over. I've already cut these to size. They were left over. These technically weren't leftovers, but I did this earlier, so I ran out. I cut them to the 1 7/8 inch, and then you put them on here, so you just have a 1/4 inch up there and down here, and you could still use that right there. And then I just put, I don't want that color. I'll take this one, And this shouldn't be, this might, okay, that's a little bit of bias there, which means it's stretchy. I took this one, just put it right sides together, and I'm sewing on the line with that one because it helps me keep them straight. I am very, very, very bad at taking these tiny pieces, sewing them together, and getting them in a straight line. They'll go like this. They'll go like that. They'll be too wide because of all that stretchiness in them. So if I just sewed it on a piece of paper, that would work too. So, but if you've got leftover HSTs, don't pull the threads. Sylvia says, great use of scraps. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop says, I agree, Coleen. Much respect for my big tidy. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. But if you've got leftover squares and you've just got a couple, so you've got a couple, you put them on there. And then you go back to the, I hope I put those in the right order. Yeah, I went to 3 to 4. So then I'll go down here to 5. It's a white, so I'll take my white one. Right sides together. There was nothing to trim on these because I trimmed them before I glued it on. I can't see the white. There it is. Right sides together. I line up right here. And the templates I provided are just a little bit big, so you just have a smidge to trim down on these if you're doing it. I've got my right side right here. I've got this lined up right here because it helps my reference. And if you look from this side, you've got a 1/4 inch. I'm going to double check that. Because although I have enough over here, I want to make sure I have 1/4 inch over there. Which is where these rulers come in very handy. You don't need one. I don't use one on the regular. Okay, that looks like a 1/4 inch now. Tad bit. What I did was I don't pick anything up. I folded on the line I was going to stitch on. This has a beveled side, so it folds over. You could use a card of some type, a credit card, a postcard, anything you want, just to get that to lay over straight on that next stitch line. Then it has a beveled side. You can use a ruler. I do it all the time. But this clips kind of onto that right there, and you cut off anything that's left over. And with the regular ruler, I set my regular ruler on that line, and I fold this up, and I give it a crease with my finger. Then I push it down as I bring my ruler up on my 1/4 inch mark. Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of trimming that, but I was over it. And here's the thing, and I've done this like 20 times this weekend, which is why I'm tired of everything. If this is over a 1/4 inch and you use that to line up your next piece, and your next piece is cut just about to the right size, you're going to have to unpick that because it won't fit properly if that's not to the proper size, which is not fun at all. I spent more time with my seam ripper than I did doing projects this weekend, which is happening a lot. So now that I got that 1/4 inch, I can line this up knowing I've got a 1/4 inch there when I sew it, and it should fit when I push it back right there. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining. It was much better in that short video that I did. Hey, my foot, my hands, and everything else were not coordinated for that movement. I'm not using a leader or an ender, so I'm just grabbing my threads. We'll talk about this later. So right on that line, right on the line, I'm a smidge off. If this was some, I don't know, like my block of the months are, it might matter. But generally, if I just sew a smidge off, or if I veer just a little bit, as long as it's not giving me a bow in my fabric when I push it back, I am fine. I turn my iron off, so we're just gonna finger press that. And the next one, I'm going to, yes, the Seam Ripper song. You need to put the lyrics in your community page because I'm a slow learner. I'll sit here and I'll do this with you when you're singing this Seam Ripper song while being very angry at the Seam Ripper. Like it's fault. Oh, okay. Your next stitch line, you fold it over, and I'll put my nails like that on my lines, and I'll push it back. See, I'm not doing anything real high tech or expensive, and then I'll put this against that line. There's a little bit sticking out, which if you're not wasting fabric like me, that would make a difference. Like, let go. Didn't want you anyway. Right sides always together. Right sides always together. I am probably not the best teacher of FPP. Sylvia, on the other hand, you can find her on Facebook, and she has a channel, and she is willing, able, and probably a much better teacher. Probably she's a good teacher. I know it for a fact. So I've got these lined up right here, my long edges, and I'm going to sew on this line that I just folded. You just follow the numbers. And in something like this, you can actually start on one side and just go to the other. It doesn't even matter. As long as you're going in order. I mean, you can't put a fabric here and then go over here and do that one and then come back here and do that. Consecutive. I'm a horrible teacher. Fold that one back. And continue. Actually, I've got another one already done, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to put it where it says the dark one is, except for it's backwards. So I'll turn it. Dark pieces here, the light. You can't see that off. Dark pieces here, the light pieces here. So I want the dark piece over here and light piece over here when I turn this over. Except for that wasn't right. I switched on myself. So you want to keep that. I quit. I quit. Oh, thank you guys. See, I have the coolest people in my chat. They don't let me talk bad about me. But if I should say I teach differently. Anyway, you just take the one you have done and you flip it over and you do the 1/4 inch line. I remember somebody saying that I had a different way. Actually, that has come up a few times. This is not lined up well, so I'm going to fiddle with it. Make sure I've got that going right. And another problem I've had with my FPP, I forgot what I was doing, is, yep, there it is. Can you see that? The feed dogs push this fabric down. And now I'm going to fix it. Also, a problem I have all the time. It shouldn't do that. I don't think I had a hold of my threads proper. Seam Ripper, Seam Ripper. I was wondering, would you copyright strike me if I sing that? She was singing the Seam Ripper song. So she started it. Laura Lynn started it. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. I need to scroll up. I think I missed something. And 1 and 2 and 3. Seam ripper, you're my best friend. Seam ripper, until the end. Is that it? I think maybe I should hear the song more without the actual use of seam ripper. We don't want that. Seriously, you should put it in your community page. I will print it out and sing it every time. I will always give you credit, though. Don't take credit for something that's not ours. Oh, Melissa said the same thing. She said, Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, I wondered if you had copyright on that. Every time I get, Deborah, every time I get my seam ripper out, I think of that song. The tune. It just stays there. See, I know it. Sylvia said, you do great. Don't put yourself down. Hugs. Hugs, Sylvia. And Mom and Pop said, you're a fantastic teacher, Coleen. Thank you. And then Melissa said it. I wasn't trying to. Thank you. Melissa says, you're a good teacher, Coleen. Don't sell yourself short. Sylvia, I didn't know you were on Facebook. What is your page name? Dee Dee asked. Exclamation, Sylvia, is it there? She shares it with another content creator. She may have already answered. We all teach and learn differently, Laurelyn says. Sylvia says, you and me, FPP. I'm on Facebook with Quilt Country. We share a page. Mom, Pop, Quilt Shop. No, LOL. I think that's the copyright. Right till the very end. See, I started to say that, and I was like, no, that's not it. I'm always saying that too, Laurelyn. Everyone learns differently. Melissa says, our brains work different. We are not all the same, Mom and Pop says. Sylvia, there's Sylvia. Is her... What did I put it under? See if I did that. There she is. It's under FB. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any of that fun stuff. So everybody else seems to. So go out. Oh. I may give up on this for today. There we go. But it's always pushing that under right there. I'm going to turn it upside down and resew it because I'm tired of it getting pushed. I'm just going to stay in line. I've got my 1/4-inch foot on. I've got my quarter tape on. 1/4-inch tape. I'm even using FPP. So, a straight line should always be had by me. So never mind. There we go. A little bit short over here, but it's in the same allowance. There we go. Now, those are, is that 3? Yeah, those are 3 pre-made ones, HSTs, and 1 FPP. And you can probably see the difference. So, anyway, in theory, I would get all of these done. What time is it? I'm not going to explain every one of these now. I'm just going to start putting them on so I can get them done. I like doing square and square and pineapple FPP. Went wonky there. It'll be all right. Did not take the stitches out. I probably would get in trouble for that one. Actually, the song that I love the song at the beginning of your pre-records. Is it? I don't think it's on the live. Talking about Laura Lance. I know she's working. You don't have to run back just because I opened my big mouth. But listen to the song at the beginning of their pre-records. I'm pretty sure it's original. It would have to be. I'm looking through my light source over here to see if I've got a 1/4 inch. Get rid of that one before I grab the tear in. And the Snow White's thingamadilly. I may not be finishing this. That doesn't go to it. Oh, that's the template that I give you, and you can get that from these cuts, which I think I also put on them. I did this 2 weeks ago, so a week and a half ago. I'm missing a white square. Somebody stole it. Somebody stole it. That's all there is to it. I think there's a thief back there playing his games. Fine, then. I won't do it. Laurelyn, I know that you get in trouble. Now you're a suspect. Dee Dee was the suspect, then Sylvia. Then Laurelyn says, not me, so clearly she did it. Oh, Brandy, I didn't see Brandy come in. Hey, Brandy, I've seen your shorts. I haven't commented. Where did Brandy? 100 Proof Quilter, by the way, is Brandy. Exclamation, Brandy, get your Brandy's. I feel like I'm saying Brandy a lot. Brandy's channel. She got a, was it a new, was it an embroidery machine and a light, Caterpillar light for FPP? The light, I'm sure about. The machine, I can't remember which one it was. I may have watched a whole lot of people this weekend. Oh, goodness. But anyway, let's pretend. And let's get a little bit better view of the table. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it was such a bad view. For the FPP, if you get your strip done, and this will be, this will look different, but anyway, you want, if you're doing a solid piece or the square and a square, you want that in the upper left corner for this particular block. It doesn't matter. This is just going in a sampler quilt for me, so I can put this wherever I want, and I just might. These will finish at 8 inches. They are 8.5 inches. So, but if we are, whoa, good thing I didn't show that. If we are going by the Quilt Builder's Card Deck, that plain block goes up here. Then this block, then I would put this one here, and I want to make sure that these are situated so my points are all pointing, getting out of the way. Too much stuff. My points are all pointing inward. So, like this. I would sew these two together, right sides together. I'd leave my papers on if I was doing that. If I'm doing FPP, I'll leave the papers on. I'll sew those together. Make sure again that they're facing the right direction because I've been known to turn things. And I will get back in my chat because Brandy's here and I still mom and pops. It wasn't me and I still have to tease her. She's always getting in trouble. After you have these two sewn together, you would flip this one over it. And you got, I didn't even have any numbers on this one. Don't ask what I did. Flip this one over. Sew your 1/4 inch. And you'd have this piece ready to put on the center, which would go like that. Sew your 1/4 inch. And it would be all completed. Now these are as triangles in the FPP, and I took them out already. I think I showed those in a short. I meant to show those in a short. So it's this section you're doing, and then that section. And then you sew those together. And the triangles, the two triangle pieces of the FPP go on the center. These are in strips. These are the triangles. Just make sure everything's pointing towards the center when you're doing them. If that makes sense. Now I'm going to get back in chat because I'm just all lopsided anyway. Okay. And that would be a variation of the cut glass dish block. I have done better, but I have done worse, just so you know. Okay. Deborah did say, must have been a seam ripper weekend, as I used my seam ripper a lot this past weekend too. And then Brandy came in. Oh, and then I scrolled. Oh. Oh, I keep scrolling down. I'm trying to see what Mom and Pop says, lives and records. It was made for us. Has our name in the song. It does. First few words. Duh. Guys, but when it was played the other day, I started listening to it and I was like, I like that. That would be a good song to sing during the lives so you don't get copyrighted because it's your song. But everything's a song. So copyrights are an issue. Okay. So you said, whilst we away, hubby had Dixie Chicks playing in the car. Ever since, all I can hear in my head is Marianne and Wanda. And that's when Mom, Laura Lynn, said, wasn't me. And Deborah says, me either. Well, somebody clearly took it. Hang on. We haven't had any missing socks, so I'm thinking it wasn't Dobby, or I'm thinking it could be Dobby. That's a Harry Potter reference. I'm checking in here. I've got my templates. Not in there. Oh, Dixie Chicks. So much about the Dixie Chicks. Melissa says, LOL, Sylvia, Earl had to die. Okay, I know that whole song and it's coming to me, and you need to stop, Sylvia. Melissa is out of the circle of trust now. Well, Laura Lynn's over there trying to look innocent. You're failing. Not fine. Melissa says, it was me. I did it. And that's why she has orange. So I don't kick her. And Brandy said yes to both. Okay. The Caterpillar and the embroidery machine. Yep, that's the one, LOLG. You'd think after a week home it would be gone from my head, but nope. Oh, I get the weirdest songs in my head. Songs I don't want there at all. Oh, and I scrolled, sorry. Yay! Brandy, sorry about that. My hands are probably too close to my mic. Brandy said, hasn't announced it yet. And so she said it in chat. I'm going to say it out loud. She just became an affiliate for Caterpillar. That is awesome. Melissa says, good for you. Laura Lynn says, awesome. Brandy says, beautiful block. Thank you. Great job, Coleen. Deborah says, thank you. And Laura Lynn, true. Singing brings me joy. Me too. I like music around me. I function better when I have music around me. The local station I listen to, because I listen to the local station. Sometimes I'll just get it in my earbud and I'll let it play. I think they only play like 7 songs on a loop. After I've heard those 7 songs, it's like, okay, let's get something on the TV. Thank you guys. Like I said, I've done better tutorials. I've done worse tutorials. By the way, a couple of dates to look out for. By the way, what? I'm gonna get coffee. I'm gonna get coffee and we're gonna retry. Oh, I almost breathed it. That was bad. You can't breathe coffee. Ask my husband. Sorry. Oh, Brandy says, you have a great voice, Laura Lynn. I, on the other hand, would be paid not to sing. People have tried to pay me not to sing. It makes me louder. So he says, already got a song named after me. I think there's more than one. Melissa said, I think there is two. And laughing and laughter and okay, I think we got it. Yes, Harry Potter, Dobby is a free elf. And that's why we're missing socks. You know, you find those. I can't remember if I told Dee Dee this or not. Did I see it on Dee Dee's channel? You always have missing socks. Whose channel did I say it on? It was probably on Dee Dee's. Maybe not. I didn't. No. Anyway, beside the point. Doing laundry, putting laundry together. They've got a missing sock. And I was like, somebody freed Dobby. Not everybody gets that. Ours do too, Melissa. She says, and most local stations play more ads than music. Yeah, and there's some pretty bad ads. In fact, there are 2 songs with my name on it, Sylvia said. That's what Pop would say. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Laura Lynn said. I was named after one, and I was once a bartender. 100 Proof Quilter says Brandy. Sylvia's mother. And who is Sylvia? My mother always asked that. Well, Phooey, I guess that means I have to go do something else now, Melissa says. I had Janie's Got a Gun in my head for weeks. We had in junior high, it was 7th grade. Maybe it was 8th grade. And science. There was I think her name was Jenny, not Jenny. Anyway, the teacher is what I remember. This guy teacher would sing Janie's Got a Gun when she came in the room. It was so funny. We expect goofiness like that from women. But when the guy teacher does that, it's just weird, but funny. Also, I think he's the one that tied my hair. I worked in the library. I had my head down. My hair was very long. I can't feel this right here. Put my hair in a knot. Maybe I fell asleep. But anyway, that was bad, teacher. Okay. And most local stations saw that. The one local station here has a guy who thinks he can do all kinds of ethnic accents. Southern drawl does not work well with all of them. I wish I was telling Tim the other day, I wish I could do an accent. Tim's my husband, by the way, if you're new. I was telling him, I wish I could do an accent. I think I'd do better on YouTube if I could do an accent. I can get a pretty good hick going, but, you know, that makes my jaw twitch. I probably do hick anyway, don't I? There was a KJ who always sung Sweet Melissa when I was in the bar. Well, you know what song everybody sings for me? Jolene. And it sounds just like that, just with a C. And now Halo singing it is in my head, followed by Laura Lynn. You two knock it off. By the way, Halo over at Angel over at Halo Inspirations is on Wednesday. Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. That's how we always say it. Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Mom and Pop, don't miss Mom and Pop. Today at 11 Eastern, 10 Central Standard Time. She does cross stitch on Tuesdays. Live, and it's just a long, happy, calm visit. I tell you, I am sick of news. I am sick Sometimes you got to self-edit before you finish your sentence. Oh, and she was talking about the jelly roll race. I think my brain has hyperactivity disorder. A jelly roll race that Donna Jordan did as a free, I don't know whether it was a tutorial or a download. I'm pretty sure she has it as a download. Laura Lynn was talking about doing that. So keep an eye out for that. I really need to write things down. Sorry. My fingers need to write things down. Dee Dee has a video drop at 5 o'clock who loves to see you in the comments, and I owe her a ginormous one because that's what I do when I go visit. Okay. No song with my name, Deborah says. I bet we can find one, Deborah. Melissa said, time for me to sign off and officially get my day going. Have a great day, everyone. Dee Dee at My Big Tidy Up says, and have a great day, Dee Dee. And I will see you. If not, you will hear from me at least Friday or before. Who knows? No, I'm not doing. No, I did laundry yesterday. I had to think about that. It had a slumber party. And it's still there in the dryer. It was slumber party day. I'm not ashamed. I couldn't walk for no good reason. Thank you, Laura Lynn. Sorry, my brain gets things out of order and I forget to write them down. She says, on Easter Saturday, it will be a jelly roll race for charity in person in Ontario. Lori Clark will be there and a few others. I'll quilt them all up free since they are for charity. I was thinking it was for charity, and then I thought, well, if I say that and it's not, I'm a moron. Yay, I love that too. Melissa said, I love that, Laura Lynn. And that's what I was thinking, and that's why I wanted to say it. And then I was like, oh. I don't want to give misinformation, but it's kind of my number one thing. Please don't worry about it. Lots to handle. Laura Lynn says, thank you so much. Big hugs. Thank you for saying something. Oh, you're welcome. And hugs right back at you. Okay, I think we're going to wind it up because I've just blabbered for an hour and a half now. Some people like it, some people don't. And I have a block to finish once I find that runaway piece of fabric. We always need hugs. Oh my goodness, yes. We definitely always need hugs. And I say this every time. I can tell Laura Lynn is a great hugger. I can just see it. Sylvia says, take care, everyone. Thank you to my moderators who put up with me for this long. And all my friends in the chat and all my friends lurking that don't know they're my friends. Thank you all. And stick around on YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell. Make sure you have all notifications on so you don't miss Laura Lynn when she goes live in a little bit. She says, enjoy the day. Thank you for your time. I have a big task ahead. Got to go cut pork roast for the freezer. Have a great day, everyone. And next Tuesday, we'll be doing the Merry Kite, and hopefully I have it together better by then. Maybe this is why I don't have any affiliates or sponsors. I never know if I'm going to do it well or not. Then I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell myself. It makes me happy. And if you don't think that you're doing so great in your quilting journey and everybody else is doing it better, it makes you happy. That's what counts. Let it make you happy. Take care. Lead with kindness. Be the light you hope to see in others. Love you.